short weeks away, and Runpuresports is gearing up for the season with the best deal in DFS.
For a limited time only, we are offering new members a 15% discount for the life of their subscription, including SaberSim subs. Simply use the promo code NFL15 when subscribing to take advantage of this great deal before our prices go up.
And at RPS, we don't just give you access to one sport. When you subscribe to our premium service, we give you access to all of our content, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and so much more.
And we're not going to charge extra for access to our preseason content either. Our memberships include all of our content, including the NFL preseason. The best DFS players in the industry give you access to their core plays and slate strategies for every sport and for every slate. Simplify your lineup building process by plugging in picks directly from the top players in the world. Watch our premium live streams to gain a huge edge on the competition. Our guys are live up to lock for the biggest slates, walking you through their last-minute decisions, analyzing breaking news and injury alerts for the major sports.
Again, for a limited time only, you can access our industry-leading DFS content for 15% off our already low price. SaberSim packages are included, so sign up today using the promo code NFL15 for 15% off your subscription for life and start building winning lineups today.
What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, aka Toe Tag and Tambo. I'm here for the Runpuresports NFL 2022 preview show. Going to talk all things going on here at RPS. Going to go through a little bit of premium. Got my two guys here with me, as always, Big T and Mr. Hoop 2410. Going to bring those guys in a minute. But before I do, want to let you guys know up front about our premium product and our promotion right now, leading into week one of the NFL. It's going to be your last chance to get in on these low prices, as prices will be going up some in the near future, right after week one. Use promo code NFL15, get yourself 15% off for life, including SaberSim. Price will never change as long as you stay subscribed. So keep that in mind. When the prices do go up after week one, don't fret, because you will have the first week to check things out. We are going to be dropping some free previews when we get into the schedule here in a little bit. We're going to talk about what we have going on, a lot of really cool things, some cool new people, bringing you all the content to the site, everything that you guys are going to need for a successful 2022 NFL, 2022-2023 NFL DFS season. So before we do that, let's start talking some premium, and I'm going to bring my guys in. Hoop, I'm going to bring you in first. Talk about the playbook that we offer here at RPS. This is a foundational piece, a core piece that a lot of people have been using and having some great success with, regardless of how much time you may have on your hands or not. So talk to me, Hoop, a little bit about the playbook over here at RPS.
Yeah, the playbook's kind of, like you said, a foundational piece, a good starting point when you start your process of researching lineups, researching players, and specific to NFL, what it will look like is basically a positional breakdown. So it'll have at the quarterback position 3 or 4 quarterbacks in that upper tier that we're interested in, a couple value type quarterbacks, and then we'll do that for each and every position. And then to go along with those specific plays, we'll kind of tag the play. So RPS tag is our top tag, and that will say, hey, this is a guy that is just a great all-around play, not only from a value perspective, but from a ceiling perspective. Really, really like this play. So that player will get a RPS tag. We'll have a tag for GPP plays, guys that might come in a little bit lower owned that we have some interest in. We think they can exceed their projection. That'll be like a GPP play. We'll have a cash tag. So that will be someone that's just a safe play, high floor type play, guys that you can plug in your lineup. Now, you can also play those guys in GPPs as well, but those will be the pieces that we're kind of building our cash game lineups around. And then a leverage play, a guy that is probably coming in really low owned, a direct pivot off maybe a popular play, but we'll have that for each and every position. Playbook, like you said, it's a foundational piece at Runpuresports, a really good starting point, and then you can use that in a variety of ways when you start to build your lineups throughout the week.
Yeah, and should note, I'm just going to add little nuggets as we go throughout here, try and keep this efficient for you, but lay it out as I see fit as well. I think that one of the biggest things about it, I didn't mention it off the top, but with Runpuresports, key component, you get all sports for one price. So using that promo code NFL15 not only gets you 15% off for life, it's not just for NFL, it's for everything. And the way I use the playbook personally is any of the sports I'm not as credible in or don't know as much. If I'm playing MMA for a weekend, I'm going to go look at our guy Title's MMA playbook, put together what I can off that, and then apply my own daily fantasy knowledge to be able to go into those tournaments and have a really good starting piece to go off of. Big T, I'll bring you in because another staple piece that coincides with that would be our core plays. So we have the playbook and then we have the core plays to complement it. Talk to the people a little bit about our core plays here at RPS.
Yeah. So the core plays, I think, are the most popular thing we have on the site because we're known for our top players. Hoop, Tambo, myself, AP, JSU. The list goes on and on and on. We're even adding people for NFL this year, big time names, as we'll get to later on as we go through. But all those guys are giving you their top plays. And that's like Tambo just said, every single sport. You got tennis, the US Open's going. You got top plays from top players, and that it's just a great starting spot where some of the other sites might give projections, different things like that. We're giving you who we're playing, and all of us play most sports, play at the top levels, and have had some of the most successes in the industry. So I know I trust our team as much as anyone, and you're getting their half of their team. So, some sports are different, but at least 3 or 4. And NFL, you're getting even more than that, core plays. And you're getting it from, I mean, this year, the plan for core plays is there could be 10, 12 experts on that core plays page where you're getting a good amount of plays. And yeah, maybe you enjoy following someone like Tambo, or everyone has their favorites. You get all of Tambo's info with that, with the core plays, their main plays from the slate. So I think it's our best piece of content, and it's the simplest too. Like Tambo says, I love it in the sports I don't know as well. Tennis and NASCAR and different things where you can go on there and have a great starting point, and then you can use your own strategies to kind of push those core plays to the rest of your teams and see how to do it with. So I love the core plays, every sport, especially NFL, where we're going to have a massive team putting their top plays of each slate up. And that includes showdowns too, which is huge for football.
Again, yeah, all sports, one price. Should note quickly before I bring you back in, Big T, for the player pools, but just real quick on the core plays, you can also mix and match. Big T mentioned you can follow who you want to follow. If you want to play Big T's lineup, start with his core plays. It's just a foundation piece, and then you have to look at other items. He'll tease another one here in a second and go through it, but just to break it down, you can also mix cores. I've done it in the past in other sports. Tennis, we've got 2 players on, that our top players putting real money behind these core plays, and I can get 4 or 5 plays that I can pin together in my mind, go back to that previous mentioned playbook, find the piece to round it out, and I've got myself a lineup that I feel good about, putting my own money behind it that can contend as well. And we have our #members-never-win segment for a reason. It's a sarcastic play on words, but our members do win, and that's how they find the winners. So it's definitely a good thing to have, especially if you have very little time or if you just want to get ahead of the research. It's a great way to go about it. Big T, talk about player pools, because that's another thing you can just quickly tie in with the core plays. They could start with your core, go to your player pool or JSU's player pool, but give us some more information on how that works and how we use it across the site.
Yeah. So one thing I've added just myself to the site over the last year is pretty much every sport I play. I'm trying to, maybe not NBA, because NBA is a little harder to do a full player pool that way, but every other sport, even these smaller sports like NASCAR, MMA, I'm giving you my full player pool. I'm not giving the exact percentage, but I'm giving you top to bottom who I like, who is in my personal player pool as I play 150 teams for football and all these other secondary sports. You will get access to all of that. So then, like Tambo said, just to bring all of it together, and we could probably do another show as the season gets going, how to use all this content. But you pull up the cash chart, which we're going to get to. You pull up the core plays, the playbook, and then you can even highlight it. Like if you print my player pool off or something, you have the sheet, make notes from the make notes from the playbook. Make notes from the core plays. And then you got everything in one clean sheet. And that's how I like to do it. I like to print. I like to see where these guys, Tambo, Hoop, JSU, all these guys are at. And then you know what? You don't have to agree with all of them. You don't ever have to agree with us, but you have all the info. You know how to bring it all together. If you don't like a play, don't play them like always, but you got it all in one spot. The player pools are one of my favorite things to do because it helps me in my own process too, to kind of point in the right direction. I know people are going to be following it. I like to give them the best chance to succeed. And I think these player pools are an awesome addition to the site.
Yeah, and I should note a lot of what we've been talking about so far has been tournament related, or GPP, guaranteed prize pool related, where you're using this to try and win the biggest money in the highest tournaments, all these factors you can apply and put them together. But to Big T's point there, when you have his player pool, it doesn't mean you have to use just that player pool. You can add and subtract as you see fit. But again, it's a head start on your research. It's an extra piece of advice that you can then start to lean on to take things away from and see how teams construct and how you can put them together, especially when it comes to NFL, where stacking, correlation. Hoop and I did another video on this very channel where you guys can go back recently and see where we talked about these strategies, a free show just to check it out. But that's where you can help apply and put 2 and 2 together to be able to get a winning result. Let's talk about the other side though, Hoop. You do a cash chart. And I know a lot of people, look at the tournaments, it's all the biggest money, but there's a lot of money to be made in cash still, especially in a sport like NFL, which we're talking about today. So talk about the cash chart, what it is, and how people can use it to apply towards their own stuff.
Yeah, I mean, cash games for fantasy purposes have definitely evolved over the years, but in NFL, there's still money to be made. People will make mistakes out there. So basically, the cash chart is going to be a cash player pool. Essentially, it's going to be the guys that we deem to be cash game eligible. And for NFL, we're going to list some quarterbacks, we're going to list some running backs, obviously wide receivers, tight ends, and defenses. And what we'll do is highlight 3 or 4 guys that are going to be the core plays for cash games, the guys that you should be starting your lineups with for head-to-heads, 50-50s, double-ups, and maybe even 3-man. So we're going to highlight those guys. Now, when you go to build your team, you can come back, plug in those core plays, and then look at the rest of the guys that we think are cash game eligible to build out a solid cash game lineup. Now, can you use this chart for things other than cash games? Yeah, absolutely. Like Big T kind of touched on, you can come. Let's say you have a very contrarian stack that you're interested in over the course of a week. Now you can come to the cash chart and you can see who some of the popular plays are going to be. The highlighted plays are going to be the highest owned guys, most likely in GPPs as well. So again, if you're having that contrarian stack that week and you're very interested in it, it's going to be low owned and you just want some stable type plays to round out your lineup, the cash chart's a good spot to go. But for the purposes of building head-to-heads, 50-50s, and double-ups, you want to kind of roll with those guys highlighted and then look at the other positions and find guys that we think are cash game eligible as well.
Yeah, it's a great tie down. You just mentioned it, but being able to tie out some of those core plays with the playbook, and now you land on a spot where you're picking a running back and a tight end to round out your roster. Well, you look at the cash chart and it fits. Your lineup's already contrarian enough. You can plug those guys in and usually help yourself to some success that way. It also goes to some of the other offerings we have. Not going to list them all because we are going to go day by day here in a second for what we have upcoming, but we've got weekly gems articles. We've got other free shows. And I think the biggest thing with that is reading the articles and watching the other shows are where you can just pick up. And again, some of those shows are free for the most part, but you can pick up on other little things. So if you already have a Big T player pool with his core plays and the playbooks there, and you're trying to piece together the final 2 or 3 guys going into your lineup, a lot of that information can be picked up on these other shows within these articles throughout the week. All of that is just additional items and stuff that you get with your membership already. So I'll tell you one more time again here, NFL15 is the promo code. Runpuresports.com, promo code NFL15, 15% off your membership for life, including SaberSim, which we'll have, that's going to be teaser alert in the show programming that we've got, where we're going to be going through how you can set up these player pools, how you can use SaberSim to your advantage to MME, which is mass multi-entry into these tournaments and whatnot. So keep that in mind when you're going through. Check us out. Like I said, the prices will be going up at the end of week 1. I believe it'll be that Tuesday morning when the prices flip after the Monday Night Football game that week. So NFL 15, 15% off for life, runpuresports.com. Hoop, let's move on. Let's go into this show schedule release. We've got a lot of, Big T mentioned it, bigger names joining us this season. We've already got an incredible team that's seasoned, that has worked on a lot of this stuff for a couple of years now to sort of refine it and make it more efficient and better for you and those out there listening so that you guys can have more success with it and get to the bottom line quicker. But Hoop, let's just talk about it. Let's go through Monday real quick. Actually, Big T, I'm going to go to you because Monday, I think we've got something special, right? We've got a Monday Night Football Showdown show. Talk about that. I'll bring up the week in review show. And then, so talk about the betting rundown and the print factory for me for Monday. Mute.
Might help if I'm not on mute on the old on the old schedule release video. I don't even know how I was on mute anyways. But Monday Night Football, obviously the peak of NFL, I would say. I mean, everyone loves the main slates. Over the years, as everyone knows, I've fallen in love with Showdowns. Hoop, I know. Tambo, I know, have had big successes in the Showdown slates. What's better than Monday Night Football, the only game in town, one game on? I mean, we love Sundays. You got the Sunday ticket. You got the Red Zone channel. We like that. But there's something to be said about Monday Night Football, the only game on, Showdown, and I love it. I'm excited because my buddy Whistles, he did the show last year, came on, gave a great winner with the Saints, Cowboys, I believe it was, told us the defense was going to be the play with the quarterback. I think it was Taysom that week, my boy Taysom. Totally printed. All the members crushed. We crushed. It was just awesome. And Whistles being one of the top players in the industry, if not the top player in the industry, especially when it comes to Showdown format, I think he's the man. So I'm excited to get him on this show with us on Mondays. Also on Mondays, we got this betting rundown with Spread and Tyler. As most of you saw with basketball, it really picked up. They were doing the shows with a lot of our staff each day. We're going to do it with football this year too. I think we did it with football a little last year, but we're going to keep compounding onto that. And they're going to do that again starting on Monday, talking about the betting side of Monday Night Football, which even if you play DFS, the betting side is very important because you see the props, you see the numbers, you see what they like. It helps. Even if you don't bet, that's what I always tell people about our betting product. Even if you don't bet, even if you don't live in a legal state, that info all adds up. If sharp betting people are on sides, you probably should be thinking about that for the DFS side, and it helps in Showdown because Showdown is all about picking a script and going with it. So having the betting rundown on the same day as Monday Night Football, I'm excited about that. And yeah, I'll let Tambo talk
about the week in review. You mentioned it too. That betting rundown is free, so you can apply it. Like you said, that's kind of what I was talking about previously, where you take the information you're getting from that show and applying it to your player pool for daily fantasy. So I know most out there are doing that. If you want to bet, you can do both. I'm a true degenerate. I'm going to do both. I'm going to watch that show, apply it to my lineups, and put my bets in because I think there's some good information to get out of that. There's a lot of good prop lines that you can take advantage of, etc. Another free show that we're going to have that I'm very excited about. Last year, we had this as premium. We're opening this up to be free because I think there's so much to take away from it, but it is a week in review show. Myself, JSU, another great tournament player, and then our boy Kay Fallick, who is very good at especially taking like a 3 to 5 max and setting it up. We had a lot of great conversation on the show because it covers all angles of tournaments, cash games, a higher dollar, smaller field, everything. And we're going to talk about that so you can see we actually know what we're talking about and how we applied it the week before. And then you can take that information into the upcoming weeks, especially if you're a member, because then you'll be able to take all the information we've already talked about previously and combine it into using some of that strategy moving forward. So Monday is going to be awesome. Hoop, I'll go to you now. I apologize for before. Tuesday, though, NFL first look with yourself and others, and then the bets look ahead. Talk to us about the Tuesday schedule.
Yeah, so Tuesday in terms of NFL is kind of like a reset day. You know, we got the, Thursday night game. We have the Sunday night full slate. Then we got Monday Night Football. Tuesday's kind of the hangover day. And it's kind of, a day where, we're resetting everything and looking forward to the next week. So the first show that we have on Runpuresports is just going to be a first look when those salaries come out. Myself, Mangone, and Title kind of just go through the salaries, kind of see what stands out, kind of predict, where the chalk or the popular plays are going to lie. Also, we kind of talked about some injuries that we might need to watch out for throughout the week. So it's just a first look right out of the gate. And one thing I did want to mention on these days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, where there's not NFL games, we will have full complement of content for MLB. We'll have an MLB show each one of these days. When NBA starts, we'll kick into gear for NBA. So this is just talking about the NFL content. So you have that first look with myself, Mango, and Title, and then a bets look ahead as well. So when these spreads come out, the spreads obviously come out before the DK salary, but we have Spread, Tyler, and our guy K Fallick looking at some bets. Maybe on that show they'll talk about some lines that they project to move. So it might be a good time to get on something before it does move. Kind of predict the way an injury might go. Get ahead of that and place a bet. So Tuesday's a very good day to just get these first looks under our belt, kind of see what we're looking for, and this is starts the process for the entire week. So we have 2 first look shows essentially from a DFS angle and a betting angle with our team, and very excited about both shows.
Yeah, and like you talk about lines moving, we know those Wong teasers are a big thing. So if you're going to keep in mind some of that as we go throughout our content and free shows that we're doing throughout the week, knowing what's going on or where the lines are starting for the week. A lot of it, again, it's sharp when it comes to NFL lines. So keeping track of that earlier in the week on a day, Tuesday, that's typically a lull day, getting that head start is crucial for everything else that we're going to have upcoming. Big T, back to you. I'll do Thursday, but I'll give you Wednesday here first. We've got a tournament or GPP first look. And then we've also got our picking winners show. Not sure yet exactly free versus premium, but we'll get that news out to everybody. Talk to us a little bit about the Wednesday schedule, though.
Yeah, so Wednesday, kind of like Hoop said, Tuesday, Wednesday are kind of the in-between days and it goes quick. When the NFL season comes, Tuesday and Wednesday feel like the light days, but man, they go quick and we're right back to that next week grind. So Wednesday, we're going to have a GPP first look with an exciting crew. We got a couple new people coming on who will announce this week to go with AP, but they're going to take a look at the GPPs. They're going to take a look just at the tournaments for the week, the best plays, kind of just that first general look to get your week started before the showdown, because Thursday we shift back into showdown stuff. This is going to be more of a full week look, just a relaxed day a little bit like Hoop was talking about. And then we got one of my favorite shows, the Pickin' Winners, with Mangone and Spread and Holden, it looks like. And I love that, again, because I think you should incorporate the betting side with the DFS side. If you're doing this stuff right, I think you should include it all in your process. And that's what they're going to talk about. Some of the winners for the week, some of their favorite games to look at for the weekend. And that's our Wednesday schedule.
Yeah, the one thing about that too, just right quick, is the GPP first look for the tournaments. Oftentimes what we've seen over the past couple of years, especially, is sometimes your first thoughts are your best thoughts, right? What ends up happening by the weekend is, again, you want to wait for the information. That's why we have a loaded weekend for you, which we'll get to in a second. But sometimes just keeping these thoughts in the back of your mind, even if you're just taking notes as you go throughout it, those ideas end up becoming the good ones for the weekend to round out a roster or get a little bit contrarian with a secondary stack or something along those lines. Let's move to Thursday, though. I'll take this one. It'll either be late Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. I'll have a show myself on the Mayo Media Network coming out. It's going to have prize picks incorporated to it. It's going to have your sort of a weekend look at DK stuff. So like Hoop talked about earlier, we had our first look already. We're going to sort of take stock of where the week is at this point, getting to Thursday and moving forward. And then, of course, Thursday night football. So we're going to have our Print Factory Showdown show, myself, Big T, and JSU. I love doing that show. We did it last year. I won a Millie Maker last year actually doing that show. The only problem was it was split about 147 ways. So it's a fun show. We do pick winners. It's going to be a good one. Always fun hopping out with those guys, bringing all those angles into it. And then we also, like we talked about earlier, are going to have our Saber Sim show. So AP Jordan will go on. They're going to break down Saber Sim, the optimizer for the week, setting it up, things you can do, attacking the slate, things you can set up as far as stacks, correlations, rules, all those factors that I think people struggle with a little bit, exposures, player pools, literally everything that you can think of that we offer with content, tying it into a tool. So that's going to be an important show if you guys want to get better when it comes to MME. Hoop, I'll go back to you. Let's talk about Friday. We've got our cash preview, Print Factory, and the Friday news dump. Talk a little bit about those shows for the people.
Yeah, so the cash preview, I talked about the cash chart when we were going through our written content. The cash preview is basically a video. It's myself, Mangone, title, Holton sometimes hosts. So basically we go through and we're kind of establishing that player pool that I talked about when I was talking about the cash chart. We go through each position, develop that player pool. Friday, that's the day where a lot of news comes out, so things can change. Do we have a top running back that's out or going to be out, and now there's a near full punt running back that might get all the work? Is that guy now a cash lock? So we go through and establish that player pool, touch on the core plays before it goes into that cash chart form. So it's just all about developing the player pool. It's a video breakdown of that. With Friday News Dump, I think is a very important show. Friday is a day where the news starts to break. Are guys going to be in? Are guys going to be out? And that can really change the dynamic of the entire slate based on, how big of a name some of these players are that are ruled out or that might be out or might be limited come Sunday. So Friday's a big, big day for news. And on that show, the team will just analyze all the news that has come out throughout the day and how it affects ownership, how it affects plays, how it affects roster construction. Very, very important show. Love that show every week. And then we have the NFL Print Factory, Big T. I'll toss it over to you. You can talk about what people can expect out of that show on Friday.
My connection was breaking up. Friday. So the Print Factory is a show I enjoyed doing. I know when we first started doing it, we were recording for like 3 hours. Last year we cut it to like 2 hours, but we go full breakdown. Me, JSU, Dunkel. I think ODB will be joining us again this year. Game by game, DFS and betting, full breakdowns. I think it's a good thing to maybe break into two viewing. So as the weekend comes and you want to get ready for the Sunday slate, maybe pop it on for an hour, watch it, come back later, watch the second half or something, because it is a long viewing, but we go detailed breakdown, as detailed as it can be. Those of you that know JSU know how long he talks about. He starts getting a little stroke to himself as he breaks down these matchups in the football. So I think it's a great show. I love doing it. And yeah, we're going to do that Friday afternoon. I think people will like it again this year.
Yeah, it's a great breakdown, and that's where you find some of those bets we talked about earlier. You'll just find random plays and pick up on stuff that you can utilize in DFS or just go bet it. I made a lot of bets from that show last year. You talked about ODB, Dave Baker, just very sharp mind. JSU breaking it down, not just from a analytics perspective of DFS and ownership and play the right guys or whatever, and how you play them, more about how it actually, the schemes are, how things shake out. He does a great job of that, both in NBA and NFL. This is NFL related, so check that out. Also, on Saturday night, we've got the Millie Maker Roundtable. I believe it's Snyder, DC, and Locks. We'll lock in that play on words there when we get the full schedule, but I believe that's what it's going to be. And that's a great show because think about it. That's when you have some of the best ownership numbers going into Saturday night, leaning into Sunday morning. It's a great last show to watch before the big day on Sunday. And it's one where they go through more than just your average ideas. You're going through tournament setups, stacks, roster construction, what other people are going to do, how you can leverage and exploit that, which is what you need to be doing in these large field tournaments like the Millie Maker. So definitely one of the best shows that we have, and tournament shows related. Those guys are very sharp, one that you'll want to tune into. And then Big T, I'll go back to you for Sunday. We've got the Off the Chalk show, which is myself, AP, and we'll see, to be determined, but that's a great show to start your day. It's the earliest show on Sunday that comes out on YouTube. It's free. It's going to have all the information you guys need. We'll have the ownership numbers. We'll have what the field is doing, how we're attacking it to get different and get, as the title suggests, off the chalk. But talk to me about the show following that, because that's been a staple forever here, Big T. The Morning Wood. It's going to be, I think, yourself, Hoop, and one more. What do we got with the Morning Wood?
Yeah, it's always been my favorite show. And as we go, this Sunday lineup is just great. Last year, we shifted the Off the Chalk from, I think it used to be Saturday. We moved it to Sunday morning just to get that appetizer in there before the Morning Wood, where you got all these sharp guys talking about that. And then it kicks it to, me and Hoop have done this show for 7-8 years now. It feels like, starting at our previous spot. I just love it. I love doing it. We go game by game, just like everything. But now it's Sunday, where we have all the info. We have the late line moves. We have everything we talk about. We make some jokes. We make fun of each other. I think it's one of the funnest shows we do. And then right after that, we got the final countdown with JSU, Holden, Dunkel, whoever else hops on there too, where they get the inactives, which is always a big thing on Sundays. And it gives you a nice edge. Even Holden, I'll give him credit. We make fun of him for a lot of stuff. He's really good with info in football. And on that show is right when we need it, because all the inactives, there was 3 or 4 times last year where he said something about a running back or something in warmups that the rest of the industry wasn't into, and it could have given you a massive edge. And even Holden providing some nice expertise on that final countdown show. And then you want me to talk about the Sunday, the Showdown too, or are you going to do that one?
No, go ahead. Yeah, talk about the Sunday Night Football Print Factory.
So no one really in the industry is going to do a show for Sunday night because it's the main slate. It's just a show that most sites are just going to punt off. They're not going to worry about it. But as we've seen, showdowns are massive. The prize pools are massive, and no reason just because there's football on Sundays, we're not going to let the people down. We are going to roll a show out there Sunday night. We did it last year. It was a fun show to hop on. I know some of the members enjoyed watching it each week. And right as those afternoon games start winding down, that's when we're going on. The guys will even be on there sweating a little bit, I'm sure, if we have some afternoon sweats, and lead you right into Sunday Night Football. Another big chance, as DC always says, if you struggle during the main slate, you always got that Sunday Night Showdown to get even. If you had a great Sunday main slate, maybe you double down a little bit on that Sunday Night Showdown.
Definitely. Got to ride the heater for sure. I'll come to you in a second, Hoop, for final thoughts. Big T, any final thoughts you want to add before we get out of here on the season, the upcoming NFL 2022-2023 season here at RPS?
Well, one thing I pride myself on is having the best possible team with us, and I'm very confident that we have that. No other site in the industry is going to have a better team of players that put their own money behind what we do. We all play high. We all play mostly all the sports, especially football. We're all going to be in there grinding. Other sites, I mean, they might have better tools. We definitely don't have the best tools in the world as far as that, but we do have the best players in the industry, and they're giving you their core plays and their thoughts about the slate. We really haven't talked about the Discord either, but the Discord is the best thing we have, in my opinion. All of us are in there. You see these other sites advertising 1-hour sessions with their experts. Our experts are in there every single day, not 24 hours, because obviously you just wouldn't be in there, but they're in there all day. If a slate's going, our people are in there, all of our experts. So the other sites might advertise 1 hour. I feel very confident that we totally destroy that number, and our people are always in there.
Discord, one of the absolute biggest items on the site. Like, it's just the key to be a part of. We talked about all sports, one price. You get in all the channels. There's people that play at a very high level. Don't need to name all of them, but just come in there for the community aspect. They just want to be around other people that are sweating winners, talking about the same stuff, being involved, whether they care about the content or not. They sign up for the Discord so they can be around it, because their friends and family might play in a $20 season-long league, but they don't get the aspect of what we're actually doing. I'll talk more about that in a second. Love the Discord comment there, Big T. 1 hour AMA, 1 AMA. We're in there at 1 a.m. asking anything all the time. Doesn't matter when you want to talk to us. We're in that Discord. It's a great time. It's just fun to be around. It's always fun to sweat it out with people that play at the same level or are trying to get good and learn from you, things like that. Hoop, final thoughts on the 2022-2023 NFL season ahead here at RPS, or anything else that you want to add?
Very excited for the NFL product that we have, just to, continue on this heater. I mean, it's been an upward trend, I think, for almost everyone at this company since we started. This show was specific to NFL content, but, like we've touched on a couple times throughout the show, when you become a member at Runpuresports, you get access to everything on the website. Every single sport that DraftKings offers, we have somebody doing content for it, same as FanDuel. So you get, all the other main sports, MLB, NBA, NHL, PGA, NASCAR, tennis, MMA, everything. We've talked about it. So everything on the site. And then just to elaborate a little bit on the point that Big T made. Like, a lot of these other sites, they have the tools and all this stuff. They got the, projections and all that. We have all that stuff too, but we take it a step further. We've played DFS for a long, long time. We've been at this just as long as anyone else. We built Runpuresports to take that next step. Yes, you can look at projections. Any projections you look at around the industry, they're within a couple points. What good does that do you? We take it the next step where we're analyzing all the numbers, statistics, watching the games, applying that eye test, and then developing the strategy to pick the proper plays. And then you get that as well. You get it in Big T's player pool, JSU's player pool, the cash chart, the playbook, the core plays with all our people. So we take it one step further here at Runpuresports, and that's something that we really pride ourselves on, those two things. All sports, one price. When NFL starts next week, if you're a member at Runpure, you're not paying extra. And then taking it that next step where we're actually delivering the plays to you guys as well. So now is the best time to join. As we talked about, NFL 15 is that promo code. It's only going to be running for basically, a week or 10 more days. And then not only does that promo go away, prices are going up a little bit. So right now is the cheapest point you'll ever have to get in at Runpuresports.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Like you said, it's not, even if you use other sites' tools, that's okay. Are they giving you the same stuff of people helping you apply and learn how to use the stuff, how to put these things in play? Like I always say, it's not who you play, it's how you play them. That's what we're telling you. And I've gone on this tangent lately, but I'm going to stick with it, ad-lib this out. But RPS stands for Runpuresports. But if you want to take the acronym further and tie in everything that we talked about today, real players, add the S on the end. Real personalities, add the S. Yes, everyone has their spreadsheets and their tools, but we're actually explaining it to you in a way that your best friend or family member would explain it to you. Explain this to me like I'm 5 style. In alert, we understand there's beginners, intermediates, advanced. We're there for everybody when it comes to that, and real proven strategies. RPS, that's a full acronym, by the way. It's the facts. We're actually putting our real money on the line. When we say core plays on a main lineup, there might be thousands of dollars on that lineup for that particular core that we're putting it out there. Not every site is doing that and then breaking it down further with their player pools, with their shows that they do, in the Discord to answer questions on it, all of those things. So if you want to be at the best place for the upcoming NFL season, it's Runpuresports, runpuresports.com. Use that promo code NFL15, get 15% off for life. As long as you don't cancel the membership, it includes everything, including our SaberSim optimizer tool that we have. Prices will go up on the following Tuesday after the first Monday Night Football game of the season. Appreciate you guys. So excited for the season upcoming ahead. For Big T, for Hoop, and for myself, Toe Tag and Tambo. Simon, get us out of here, man.